What's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about why I personally believe gold mining stocks are about to pop off. Let's get straight into it. As always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. First things first, I want to cover this write-up that I made for you guys, talking about why gold, why now? Because obviously to be bullish on gold miners, you have to be bullish on gold itself, and then why gold mining stocks specifically. Okay, so we will establish a fundamental understanding of why we're bullish on gold mining. Moving on to some charts, this is titled Gold, Will This Be the Longest Bull Cycle in History? So I stumbled upon this great analysis on TradingView by Mr. Trading Shot. Shout out to the author, credit where credit's due. The reason I was excited to share this with you guys is because I believe it might give us some insight as to where we are in the new bull market, in the new bull cycle in regard to gold. Okay, so what I like about this is he uses historical references. You can see gold 1976 to 1980, gold 2000 to 2011. And I always say, you guys, very cliche, but it's cliche for good reason. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And again, that applies especially in trading, and especially when you're looking at charts, especially when you're zooming out and looking at the macro picture, especially at a legacy asset like gold. Okay, so again, we're covering physical gold here. This is why we're bullish on gold fundamentally and technically, actually. And then we'll move on to talk about a gold mining stock that I'm very excited to share with you guys, okay? So this is called Winston Gold Corp. I'll give you guys 3 reasons right off the bat that I really like this stock right now. The first is that it's based in America. So this is obviously a gold mining stock based in America. I've said this a few times in the past, you guys. When you're looking at mining stocks, being based in America is a huge thing, at least in my personal opinion. When you go offshore, things can get a little dicey in terms of both legalities and morality. So I personally like to stick towards gold miners and silver miners that are based in America, just to play on the safe side, just because I feel more comfortable having those in my personal portfolio. And Winston Gold, based in good old Montana, so shout out to the north. The second is that, as you can see right in front of us, the technicals look solid. So we will take a look at Winston Gold on TradingView. I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking in terms of future potential price action. Hint, hint, looks pretty good. So we'll talk about that. And then 3, it has a small market cap. We'll get into that later. You guys know I'm a sucker for small market cap stocks, though. There's just a lot of upside potential there. Obviously, if the fundamentals are good, though. A small market cap doesn't mean anything if the fundamentals aren't there. And for Winston, I personally believe they're there because I looked at their website, and I want to share their website with you guys too. Okay, so we'll take a look at Winston's website. Solid website, you guys. I always like to look at companies' websites just because brand matters so much in 2020, especially in this market environment. And it also shows a company's care for their product, how they present themselves to their customers, their investors, etc. Okay, so we'll take a look at what Winston Gold Corp is. We'll take a look at their team. There's some exciting things about their team. Their CEO is actually an ex-board member of Newmont Gold, which is the largest mining company in the world. So that's huge. That's huge to have someone with so much experience operating this company, and that is one of the things that's one of the single fundamental factors for this company that makes me so bullish on it. So we will get to that. As always, guys, before we do get into it, though, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into it. Why gold? Why now? As you guys know, I've been preaching inflation hedge assets for a while now. Ever since the government started printing trillions of dollars, it's been very obvious to me that a safe haven asset like gold would perform well. So far, that's proven to be true. I still believe this is only the beginning, though. With unlimited QE, quantitative easing, at the disposal of the Federal Reserve, the upside for inflation hedges becomes unlimited as well. The more dollars they print, the more devalued they become, and the more people want to keep their wealth safe in hard money assets like gold. Okay, so again, you guys, I've said that for so long. Gold is an inflation hedge. Gold is a hard money. Gold's God's money. And that's why I'm very fundamentally bullish on gold when the governments, not only the US government, but governments around the world are printing trillions of dollars in their own fiat currency. Why gold mining stocks specifically? Gold can be a great investment, but I personally see more upside potential in gold mining stocks. Almost all of the gold exposure in my portfolio is comprised of gold miners. Shout out to the portfolio group. You guys would know that. That is because over the years, I've observed that when gold does well, gold miners perform even better. These can be riskier, though. You obviously have to do your research and due diligence in order to make sure that the miners you're betting on are fundamentally sound. When you find a solid company that you believe has asymmetric upside potential, then you're in good shape. Speaking of, so again, we'll get to Winston Gold with that. Speaking of, that was kind of the segue I was using there. But again, You need a fundamentally good company. That's the basis of a good mining company. You need to make sure, obviously, they have a strong balance sheet and that their fundamentals are solid. And Winston's fundamentals are definitely solid. And it has the asymmetric upside, you guys. That's what I like specifically about small market caps, is that it takes a lot less capital inflow to the stock to lift the individual share price. I say that all the time, you guys. That's why I personally like small market cap stocks. Okay, so again, we will cover this quickly and then we'll get into Winston. So you can see here, gold today. And then Trading Shot, he took the chart of gold from 1976 to 1980, 2000 to 2011. Keep in mind, you guys, this is when governments were printing. This is when there was kind of an economic crisis. And obviously, you guys, when there's an economic crisis in the world, when people are fleeing from the dollar, they go to gold because it's a reserve asset. It's a safe haven asset. Once again, God's money. I'll keep saying that. So you can see here, gold went parabolic in 1980, almost like 40 years ago, went parabolic. This was when gold was pretty early. This is when the market, well, obviously gold has been around for thousands of years, but in terms of actual like paper trading on the market, this is when gold was fairly fresh. Gold 2000, 2011, obviously the 08 financial crisis fell in here. Gold doing very well, but it was more elongated. And then gold today. And then you see here how he has a long arrow drawn here. And we'll go on to read a little bit of this. So we'll just read these first two little paragraphs. Gold has started a new bull cycle since the late 2015 bottom that was confirmed after it broke above the 1,380 5-year resistance in 2019. The U.S.-China trade war peaking at that time, and recently the massive money stimulus from the Federal Reserve creating inflation. Gold has already reached new all-time highs. The recent 2-month pullback shouldn't worry long-term investors. We have entered a new era in money supply, and this alone can be enough to sustain this new bull cycle to extreme highs. So he goes on to talk about the theory of diminishing returns on economic asset classes that rise through time. And this is the same as the one I've published on Bitcoin a few years back. That theory suggests that no matter how strongly an asset rises through time, every time will be less aggressive than the previous one. So this is also important to remember when you're taking gold into account. So gold, you guys, gold has proven itself, again, over the millennia to be a sound store of money. And when things get dicey, in 2020, I think we can all agree that times are pretty uncertain, things are getting a little dicey. People want gold. People want a safe asset. People want something that will store their wealth. And although it might not be as parabolic again as it was in 1980, as it was from 2000 to 2011 for that decade, although it might not go straight up, I think it might actually, just because of all the stars are kind of aligning for inflation hedge assets. Keep in mind, you guys, gold is just to sum this up, gold is an amazing long-term play. Who knows, it might go parabolic, but don't be surprised if it takes a little longer to go up. Regardless, in my opinion, keep in mind, you guys, this is all just my opinion. Regardless, it will go up over time, and it will retain value over time. And gold is just a great freaking investment, okay? So that's gold. But gold miners are a little more exciting. You guys know on this channel, I like to focus on, once again, more asymmetric risk potential investments, ones with more potential upside. Gold is a great investment in itself. But the reason, as I said in my little notes, you guys can screenshot this if you want, that I like gold miners is because I think the upside is significantly more. So say gold 2x's, if you pick the right gold mining stock, that could 3, 4, 5x. All right, so again, those numbers, just kind of throwing those numbers out there, but you guys get the point. The multiples are significantly higher on good gold mining stocks. So again, we will take a look at the chart. We'll actually finish off with the chart, but let's take a look at Winston Gold's website first, okay? So about us, Winston Gold Corp is a junior mining company focused on generating cash flow by advancing high-grade, low-cost mining opportunities into production. Our management and operations team have considerable experience identifying and developing high-grade underground mines that exhibit excellent potential for success. Towards that end, the corporation has acquired an underexplored and underexploited gold-silver mining opportunity. You guys know I'm extremely bullish on silver as well right now. I made a video about that recently. The Winston Gold project near Helena, Montana. So I don't know if you guys have watched the series Yellowstone, but great series that takes place in Montana. So I was pumped when I saw that about this company. Okay, so a gold company focused on cash flow. Love that. Gold company, good. Focused on cash flow. I mean, that's what else do you want from a company? Okay, so we'll go on to I'll show. Okay, so recent news here. This is what I want to show you guys. Winston Gold Corp prepares to produce first ounces of gold as Paradigm Mills near completion. This was from October 6th. Okay, so this is what I want to see here. This is what I've talked about in many of the other companies we've been talking about over the past few months as well. You want to see consistent news. You want to see them making consistent progress, especially with these smaller companies. Just because they're smaller doesn't mean they're established and doesn't mean they're making progress. So I love to see smaller smaller companies making tangible steps in the right direction towards expanding their operations. And obviously more gold means more cash flow. More cash flow means a more valuable company. And obviously a more valuable company means a more valuable stock as well. So that's very good. But again, you guys, the consistency is what really matters. Companies keep doing things and keep taking steps in the right direction consistently. Again, that's consistency. I can't say that word enough. So moving on, I want to actually show you guys, I believe it's in the learn more. I want to show you guys the CEO. Okay. So gold has regained its luster in the market. We believe the next precious metal super cycle is just commencing. We're not going to read through the rest of that, but that's kind of what I was just saying as well. Taking a look at that chart as well. Again, the next super cycle is here. So this is the main thing I want to talk to you guys. Joseph Caraba, executive chairman, major shareholder. Mr. Caraba has extensive management and operational experience in the mining industry. Joe retired from the board of Newmont last year after spending a decade as the chair of the Safety and Sustainability Committee. So right here, this is very, this is great right here. He was on the board of Newmont for over a decade. And again, Newmont Gold Corp is the largest gold mining operation in the world. This guy took his experience, took what he's learned, and this guy's a veteran. Just looking at him, he looks like he knows what he's talking about. Again, over a decade on Newmont Gold, Safety and Sustainability Committee. He's super. That if he was the chair of Safety and Sustainability, then he knows regulation. He knows regulatory hurdles. And that's, again, it comes down to safety. The same reason I really like US-based mining companies. It just comes down to kind of ease of mind, knowing that you have your money in a good asset, in a good company, not just an asset itself, but again, a good company with good people in it. And again, this guy is obviously safe, sustainable, but he has the experience. He has the experience. He's been on Newmont for a decade, so he has the experience. He's taken I believe Newmont is a $50 billion asset, so he took his experience from a $50 billion company. He's applying it to a $28 million company. So, I mean, that is micro compared to Newmont. But again, that just shows you the potential if they execute accordingly. Keep that in mind, you guys. These smaller companies, they're still, even if they are making tangible progress, there's still risk that comes with it. I'm not saying there's significant risk, but there's always risk when you're betting on companies like this, when you're betting on smaller companies, because they're not as well established as a large company like Newmont or something. But the upside potential is there significantly more than a $50 billion company. So that's why I personally like this company more than a play like Newmont. But that's just me personally. It's all up to you guys to decide. So from a technical perspective, though, the short to medium term is looking pretty solid. So you can see here, Winston is at the lower end of this range on this upward channel. So it is trending upwards. This is a lower high. This could almost look like a head and shoulders, but that's not the case in my mind, because this has proven itself on multiple daily candles to be a lower high. You can see here, the low over here was significantly lower than these lows. So this is signaling to me a lower high. It is still in a trend upwards. And what I think is very likely to happen is ultimately it will come up to retest this top line of resistance on this channel upward. Especially because, again, you guys, I wouldn't be saying this if I wasn't very bullish on gold. But because I'm bullish on gold and I think the price of gold is going to go up, obviously gold mining stocks do even better. And especially small ones like this, you guys. Especially small, fundamentally solid companies like this usually tend to go up. Again, you guys, I'm not promising anything. I don't know if this thing's going to go up or not, but just from my fundamental and technical perspective, it's looking like it's poised to do pretty well. So what I think is most likely to happen, you can see here, I have this line drawn in the middle. This is the absolute lower line of support. So it's pretty close to that already. So when I talk about asymmetric risk, it means that the upside risk potential, or upside potential, significantly outweighs the downside risk. Okay. So the downside risk, I feel like the worst case scenario, obviously it could tank. I doubt that'll happen, but worst case scenario in my mind is that it comes down to test this, which is only like a couple percent down. But the upside potential is it comes all the way up. It'll likely test the center trend line because this acted as a significant line of both support and resistance since mid-July. So it's a very strong line of support and resistance. It'll probably come up, bounce off the 13-cent level, come down, correct a little bit. But ultimately, again, you guys, because I'm very bullish on gold and precious metals, the precious metal sector as a whole, I think it's very likely that we come up to retest this. Again, keep in mind, you guys, it does depend on where we test this in regard to what the price will be. Say it hits right where I have the arrow drawn late November, we could get to 20 cents. So from where it's at 10 cents, if we get to 20 cents in mid-November, I mean, that's a cool 2x. And that's the beauty of stocks like this, of stocks that we talk about all the time here, these small market cap stocks, is, again, you guys, for it to 2x, it would only be at like a $50 billion valuation, $55 billion valuation, or 55 million, I'm sorry. And that's still, in the grand scheme of the equity market, still tiny. But there's so much fundamental potential here. Again, I will keep following Winston Gold. I will keep you guys posted on new updates from them because it's an exciting company, okay? So we'll call it there, you guys. I want to let you guys know that this was brought to you by Winston Gold, and I really do appreciate the sponsors here. Always know, you guys, I will never promise you this. I'll never talk about a company unless I think they're solid. I did extensive research on this, and I've been solid to work with these guys who have such solid companies, and they're advertising on YouTube. Like, that's what I respect. They're on the cutting edge. Their websites are solid. They're advertising on YouTube. Their heads are in the right space in terms of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to scale their business and how they're trying to really adapt to the new generation, to the next generation. It's a pretty legacy industry. Gold mining, silver mining, it's not like a luxurious cutting edge technology industry, but they're doing the right thing. They're making the right steps in terms of like how they're trying to appeal to younger audiences, because I'm personally super interested. The reason I do these specifically is because I'm personally very interested in like the geological aspects, the actual mining aspect of precious metals. Obviously precious metals are cool, but the mining side of it is genuinely cool to me. So that's why I really like sharing these companies as well. So show them some love, you guys. Tell them the Waves fam sent you if you do end up checking them out. We appreciate the sponsors, appreciate the people who make this possible, and again, I really appreciate you guys. Drop a comment down below on what you're bullish on in regard to precious metals right now. Let me know what other stocks that you're interested in within this space. Always love learning from you guys. Always love talking shop with you guys. So I'll catch you downstairs. And until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.